liking what we see, and what do we want change if there are anything that needs to be changed?
All right, thanks again, Courtney. Just a slight correction there. This year, actually, my wife and I have been married for 40 years in December.
Wow!
I've gone beyond the 30. Thank you. We give God all this. In December, we'll be celebrating 40 years. No, it's a very important topic, and I was happy I had the opportunity to address the gathering of men on Saturday last. No, it's obvious when we look around us that our society here in Jamaica, our nation, has a lot of challenges, a lot of things that clearly are wrong. You look at the crime and violence, you look at the gangs, you look at the drugs, you look at the illnesses, and the abuse in our homes, the domestic violence, and so on. Clearly, a lot of things are wrong. I mean, our murder rate is way up there globally. And so that there's clearly a need for change. And I like the word transformation because it suggests more than just a superficial change, a longer lasting turnaround, if you will. So transformation. Now, the question is how then can we have this transformation? And why is it that we're discussing this on an outstanding program such as the Mailbox that focuses on our brothers? There's a good reason why we need to think of our brothers in the matter of transformation of society. You know, one of the ways to understand it I found very effective is from a favorite pastor of mine, Dr. Tony Evans. I'm sure you might know him, Courtney. Dr. Tony Evans in the U.S. He has become well known for a phrase or a statement that he has made concerning this very topic. And it's easy to understand the role of men. What he said very quickly is that when men fail, all right, and when we say fail, we mean fail as God intended us to be. When men fail, marriages fail, our families fail, the community fails, the wider society, and even the church has difficulties. And so, at the heart of every collapse in society, another person wrote, at the heart of every collapse in society is a failure of manhood and masculinity as God intended. It's like a domino effect. You know, we used to play with dominoes and we line them up and we hit the first one, and then the rest just follows. They make a very profound point, Dr. Evans and others, that it all begins with a failure of man and masculinity. So if you're going to correct this now and have a real transformation, you must begin with the men.
Interesting. So there is a heavy responsibility, and it should not be burdensome.
No.
That is placed on our men. How do our men get into that mode of being that transformative agent in society? He spoke to crime and violence. He spoke to abuse in the household. He spoke about failing communities. What, if we start with our men, what must happen to our men to bring about that sort of change which we desire?
All right. Very important question, because the question you just asked is the huge secret to what every country needs, including Jamaica, if we're going to be turned around. So what I would suggest in response to that is that, first of all, we're going to need for younger men to get the support and guidance of older brothers if they are going to become transformers of society. Because basically, there are a number of fundamental steps that our brothers will have to take. We as men, and including myself, will have to understand and take and practice if we're going to become transformers of society. First and foremost, we need to really discover our identity and purpose as men under God and reconnect to our Creator through His Son, Jesus Christ. That is when, and only then, will we truly understand who a man really ought to be as God intended us to be. There's just no way to go around that, all right? Because it's not as simple as a lot of us think. We have not been told the correct information. We have not seen it modeled around us. So identity and purpose in Christ, reconnecting with God under and completely submitted to God's authority. Then out of that, you talk about men now, focusing on self-development, so that they are prepared to care for the most important lifelong assignment, and that is to really care for their families, all right? Because the fundamental building block of every society is the family unit as God created to be of mother, father with children. There are other family types, and we recognize them, but as God intended, the family is really the mother and father with children, and that on a foundation of health in marriage. That is very important because God intended health in marriages, as He designed the marriage to be the foundation of healthy families. So if men are going to be transformers of society, they must begin in their homes, because the homes or the families are the building blocks of every society. If a man wants to build a house, he's now going to take some defective building blocks, that are crumbling. When you build a house, it just fall down. All right? Anything that is a building block must be solid if the thing that you're building, such as our nation, is going to be successful and healthy. So beginning the home, beginning with that connection with the Creator through Christ, then developing themselves to really become the men that God intended and be prepared to take care of their families, to form their families, using marriage as God intended, and then to father any children that come along the way. These are fundamental and important steps in transforming a society.
Beautiful. Dr. Combs, we're up on a break. When we come back, we want to get a bit more detailed as to how the family should be guided by the man, how it is that it's going to affect society. We want men who are listening to know how to go about doing it. We face a dilemma. If men are already falling short, who will mentor those who needs to become good men? We'll take a break and come right back right here on the Mailbox. Love 101.
Mama, yes, strong man. February is Heart Month, and the Heart Foundation of Jamaica is reminding you to do your part. Check your heart. This Thursday, February 2 at 2 p.m., Love 101 will be on location to show you some love and remind you how to take great care of your heart. Join Sarah Ann Edwards Miller as she talks and shares all you need to know about your heart. Visit the Heart Foundation for your tests, including